Right that the earth is mine. Burn bright, let the ember shine. You know I'm gonna get it every time. Champion, wearing the crown. I can see my name in lights. Spark from the heart and it shines so bright. Yeah, let the whole world know. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
This episode is brought to you by SPI Logistics, the premier freight agent logistics firm in North America. For over 40 years, SPI has been diligently building the most successful freight agent network to provide first-class relationships for our shippers, receivers, and carrier partners. We are more than another transportation network. We are a dedicated team of professionals united by one singular purpose, and that is to expedite our agents' success. All of our agents are set up for success on day one, as they are provided with a full suite of support staff that is ready to assist them with everything from after-hours emergencies to financial and administrative needs on a no-fee basis. This way, you can focus on continuing to grow your business. There is no financial risk to start, and you have the ability to earn up to 75% in commissions. If you are looking to take control of your financial future and build your business with the backing of one of the most successful logistics firms in North America, visit www.spi3pl.com to learn more. Do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Hey guys, before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by Denim. As a business owner myself, I personally know the importance of financial stability and preserving cash flow to help navigate through any freight market. With Denim's comprehensive service offering, you now have an all-in-one financial partner whose platform includes factoring, payments, freight audit, document collection management, and analytics, which help keep your business financially healthy and increase your team's time to focus on revenue-producing activities. You can also take advantage of Denim's free credit check, which they perform on all of your customers. And Denim will proactively reach out to you if they spot any signs of credit deterioration. Finally, Denim always pays your carriers first. As a broker, this is imperative to preserving your credit score in the market, which ultimately helps you become a broker of choice to your carrier partners. Are you ready to learn more? Visit denim.com to schedule a demo today. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Coffee with the Freight Coach. My name is Chris Jolly. I am your host, and I am the Freight Coach. Before we jump into the episode, as always, thank you guys so much for coming out and listening to this podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. This is the real side of freight, ladies and gentlemen. And I say that before every single show. And what I mean by that is I only speak to transportation professionals because at the end of the day, you guys, I want to talk to the right individuals who have done what you're looking to do or who are currently doing what you're trying to achieve. So you can take that information, apply it, utilize it, and see a meaningful difference in your business and your life. I do have one small favor to ask. I know you will, but if you get value in what you hear today, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there to your network, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. All right, I got a very special guest for you guys here today. We're going to talk about building a business. We're going to talk about taking that leap and getting out there and going after your dreams, man. I follow this guy for a while. This is like literally the first time that we've ever chatted. But that's how I like to do things on the show. I like pure organic conversations and talking about what people do out there. So I have the co-founder and president over at VI, Mr. Dustin Blevins, on the show. Dustin, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
No, dude, it was a pleasure. Like I forget, I think you were in Arizona a while back and you were posting a photo out there. I'm like, man, I got to get you on the show. And do that. So, man, what, like, I always start out a lot of these shows like this, man. How did you get your start in freight, man? What brought you into trucking?
Chattanooga is well known for its logistics industry and professionals. When I left selling beer, I was a keg roller for a while. I went to work in the restaurant industry. And in Chattanooga, we had a joke that logistics is where restaurant people go to die. And because we had a big Coyote branch here at the time, not to mention US Express and all those folks. When things didn't work out at the restaurant, they made a call to one of their friends in logistics, and I had the job before I ever walked in the door, just based on my personality and their conversation, and was very fortunate that I just hit the ground running.
Dude, I like that, man. And then, so how, like, have you been out there like carving out a niche or anything like that, or did you just kind of move everything?
I'm kind of a afraid of all kinds type person. I early niche was just round the clock service. I worked heavily in the automotive field, still do. I'm one of those types that had to sign a few contracts that if my trucks are late and lines go down, I'm on the line for some money. And I started doing that very early on, and I've loved it ever since. But if it fits, my market, if it fits my drivers, I'm all for it.
Yeah. So, man, I love talking to founders and everything. And it's like, what brought you, like, what made you start VI, man? Like, what you told me kind of before we started recording, but I really want to talk about this, man, because I think this is a very unique opportunity that you got there. So, like, what brought you to kind of that point, and kind of walk me through that?
Absolutely. So it all started with my early introduction into logistics. I was there a few months, was lucky enough to get a customer off the 70 outbound cold calls a day, and had enough volume to where they went ahead and said, "Hey, we're going to promote you to manager. You're going to go hire your first employee, and you're going to build your own pod." I hired a good friend of mine, Danny. Didn't know him well at the time. He had came from insurance and the world of car sales, and traditionally that all translates pretty well to logistics. Well, he had a longtime friend, a Tennessee-based importer, looking to work with him directly. At the company we were at, that wasn't possible, so we moved together. Things didn't quite work out for us there. We moved again. Things didn't work out for us there, and finally, that customer said, "Hey, we've kind of went through the rigmarole. With you guys moving, we don't feel like we're getting serviced well on the Drayage International side, and that's not something that you've had access to.
Mm-hmm.
Danny, do you want to come in-house?" So Danny took a position with them as a consultant, started meeting with all their providers, started beating them down on the rates, and just uncovered a whole bunch of, I don't want to say fraudulent, but just lies.
Yeah.
A lot of deceit.
Yeah.
He reached out to our friend Monique Taylor. She is our president of international. Monique came in, showed them some tools of the trade, how she tracks ocean shipments, how she verifies everything, and just found out that all of their containers were transshipped and were sitting in places that they shouldn't be sitting. And the agents were telling them, "Oh, hey, no, these are definitely here. That's wrong." And just kind of cemented the fact that the industry has a lot of work to do. Not everyone, but a lot of bad actors out there, so to speak.
Yeah. No, man.
And they basically cut ties with everyone. They started doing it in-house, and surely enough, about 3 months in, they saved about $600,000. And that is when Danny approached me for the president of domestic job.
Mm-hmm.
My role at Veritas International, or VI, has been to help develop the footprint for this importer. Currently, I manage 4 shipping lanes. That is Savannah, Chattanooga, Phoenix, and LA. And I just help, beat down the carriers, get those deliveries out to installations, and do what I can to help grow the business. So, and we're fixing to celebrate 2 years.
No, man, I want to go back to the whole uncovering that amount of savings in that short of time, man. Was there a certain thing where you guys saw like that doesn't look right, and then you guys started peeling back the layers, and you're like, you guys are getting bilked right now for an insane amount of money? Is that kind of how it started?
Absolutely. Once Mo got involved, so it started sort of on the drayage side, because Danny retroactively worked that way from the domestic side. Our containers weren't being delivered in the amount of time that they were supposed to be. They were being picked up from the port, taken to a drop yard, left there until demurrage started accruing, and then taken to the final destination. And it caused a big stink. Once they found out about it, they started raising a whole bunch more questions, and that's when again they got involved in the international side. Found out that they were paying for direct shipments, I believe, and all of the shipments were being transshipped. I think at one point when they uncovered it, all of their containers were sitting in the Bahamas when the agent was telling them that it was in like Charleston and stuff, or New York, I think. Yeah. it was just crazy. It was just a big, massive thing. People that vendors that were considered, good partners and things like that. It's just kind of drew a big dark cloud over the industry as a whole and who they felt they could trust.
Yeah. I'm looking at it like this, man, because like I'm seeing a lot of, not, I can't say a lot of this, right? Because it's not everybody that I talk to and all of our shippers and stuff like that. But I'm noticing a lot of that. Because I truly think, Dustin, like what you're describing right there is the only real way to like truly prove your worth as a freight broker. Because whether it's you cold calling or me cold calling a shipper, what's the real discernible differences between the two of us at the end of the day, right? From the initial
Right.
service offering, slim to none, right? Like I say it all the time, man. When CH Robinson, the largest freight broker out there, their people are calling people. We offer the exact same service at the end of the day when it fundamentally boils down to it from a freight brokerage perspective. But what you're describing right there, that's where the real value starts to come in when you can look at somebody's operation and be like, hey, that's wrong. You're getting overcharged for that. Like we've had, because we move a lot of open deck freight at the end of the day. And we have customers who would send out multiple partials throughout the week, and it could all be on one pick 3 drop on a flatbed and stuff like that. And we're saving thousands and thousands of dollars a shipment at that point where it's like, yeah, I could have sat back and been like, man, I'm just going to make all this money doing it this way, where I'm like, no, this isn't right. If you guys can pause one of these parcels to ship on Wednesday with this other one, we can marry it up on the same truck. And their minds were just blown. And I'm like, how have nobody brought this up to you?
Yep. That's I mean, it's very similar to the conversation I had just a couple hours ago. We're trying to help a newer customer get along here in Jacksonville, and they were looking at Moffett trailers. So they asked, can you do Moffett trailers? And I'm like, it is possible for us to do it. And I don't want to talk myself out of any work, but if we find one local, it might just be better for you to reach out and contract with them directly.
Yeah.
Like what you're looking for, we would love to help, but we're too big for what you're looking.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm right there with you. I think that that's where, same thing, man. If I can't do something, I'm going to tell my customer right away, or I'm going to take the approach of, hey, listen, that's not exactly in our wheelhouse, but if you give me a little bit of time, I will figure it out and I will come to you when I feel comfortable doing it. Because like, man, we have a smaller team at the end of the day, and we got in and a customer of ours was like, hey, we want you to bid. We got like 100 containers coming in through the Port of Savannah. And I'm like, all right. So we bid it out. They awarded us a couple of moves. And then in the middle of it, they're like, hey, can you take on more? And I told them at the time, I'm like, I could, yes, but I feel like that would be doing too much. I really feel comfortable just doing what we're doing right now. As we kind of grow with this, we will take on more. But right now, this is kind of, I feel like, a really comfortable limit. And every single time I operate this way, Dustin, I get the same response. Thank you for your honesty. We really appreciate that. That doesn't happen very often and stuff like that. Because, I just look at this from the long-term game here, man. Like as a business owner, and you might think like this way too. I got to think of how do I get revenue for the next 12 months, not the next 12 minutes. I'm a risk taker, but I'm not reckless.
Yep. No, I couldn't agree more. When I started in the industry, I was just told, hey, if someone answers the phone and they ask you if you can do it, you say yes. And then I found very quickly that was not true.
Yeah.
As a broker, as a non very heavy niche laden broker, there's only really a few cool things you could do. And people were asking for dry bulk pneumatics. They wanted us to, move hazardous waste. And, my superiors were just like, yeah, we can do that. Go figure it out. And at the end of the day, we couldn't do it. And I wasted my time, wasted the customer's time. And I just knew very early on, there's a way better way to go about this industry. And if you're putting the time in and you're researching and you're calling and you get to those points and you tell someone, hey, I don't think this would be a good fit for me, it's going to work wonders for you.
Yeah. No, man, because like as a startup, we're because I'm an agent with SPI Logistics, and again, I'm a massive fan of the agent model because of what it offers up, and it allows us to operate as we're a couple $100 million organization. We have all the insurance you could need, we have all the back office support, we have all the technology, but as I'm going on out there, so it's like, but what I was getting at is like I'm in no position to turn away revenue right now from a business development standpoint. It's the hardest market I've ever operated in from a business development perspective. It's the longest sales cycles I've been a part of. And I want to be just brutally honest with people about this stuff because I feel like there's enough people out there inflating what they really are in business. And we're out there cutting our teeth. And, I've been presented with those pneumatic bulk opportunities, and I passed on that stuff, man, because I'm like, I don't want to invest the time in figuring it out right now because I feel like all of my effort is on new customers, right? That's where all of my effort is, and then servicing our existing customers. But fortunately, with this podcast and the media stuff that I do, I know some guys who just do know pneumatic bulk. So I introduced them to them. And I'm like, hey, listen, that's not for me, but I know a guy who only does bulk work. He's going to be your best point of contact. And you know what? I don't ever, like, I just, I'm a man of faith. I don't think I'm ever going to get punished for doing the right thing, and I feel like, karma is real. And I think that the more good you put out there, you'll get rewarded for that. And then furthermore, man, I don't want as much as I possibly can. I want to make sure nobody has a bad experience with my company. I'm going to try my absolute best. I know I'm not going to make everybody happy, but I think if there's a way that us doing the right thing, because that's our number one core value in my business and in my personal life, just do the right thing. That's doing the right thing in that moment, And I feel like if you can apply that as much as you possibly can, you're going to succeed.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. We actually apply that both ways to our employees and our customers.
Yeah. Okay. And in what ways? Like what are you out there doing that?
So one of our our main customer, what helped us get started, their motto was they always want to leave someone better than when you found them.
Yep.
And we've lost a few people over the past 2 years, and arguably it was to better opportunities. And that's the exact conversation we had. It's, same with the customer. Hey, if this isn't going to be good for us, we wouldn't be a good fit for you. To that employee, we love you here. This would be a better opportunity for you. We want you to take it because we want to see you grow. We want to see you happy.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul, no non-solicits, no non-competes. Go do your thing. Tell your customers we said, hey.
Yeah. No, man, I think that's the best way to kind of operate like that, right? And, and especially now with all this stuff with, you brought up non-competes there. I'll never have a non-compete, in my business at all, except for, I would say, like, if you have privy information to like proprietary information, if we're doing an M&A strategy or something like that, like I feel like there's a certain level to it. But I think for the most part, a lot of the sales reps out there, a lot of the people, man, it's just like, dude, if you think you can go get it better somewhere else, go for it, man. I hope you find success in life, because I look at it like this. If I fail, I think a lot of companies need to start looking at it this way, man. If you cannot retain customers, if a rep left for whatever reason, you failed as leadership, because every one of your customers should know who you guys are.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. My internet might cut out. The Airbnb's internet is a little slow.
No, it's all good, man, dude. We can just riff like this, man. Sometimes it helps if you shut your, and this is just going to be live on the show. Okay, if you want to shut your camera off, sometimes that helps with your internet speeds and everything, depending on where you're at out there. But no, man, I think I think that business is going to be one of those things that, like as the non-compete thing starts to come out, and the non-solicit thing is it's tough, and I can't publicly say one way or another how I will be in a couple of years with it. But it's, I think that from the frontline workers perspective, because I think those are the ones who suffer the most, right?
Right.
Eliminating that from the frontline sales reps and everything. It's like, man, if you want to go, like go do you, go find your happiness, go find your passion. Because like I had said, man, if I lose customers because of it, my organization's failing, and I need to look at that, not the rep.
Yeah. No, I will agree that unless you've got proprietary information, I think there are always the need for NDAs. Don't go somewhere, talk about our business. If they're your customers and you came over with your customers, or you spent the time doing it, we don't have a non-solicit, that all's fair. Big believer in NDAs. Don't talk about business behind closed doors. Don't spill any trade secrets. But what I found out working at 3 companies based in Chattanooga is there was no real trade secret, but I got a letter in the mail every single time.
Jeez.
Yep.
Dude, that's wild, man. It's I think like that's the work around, because there's a lot of companies that are out there trying to champion non-competes and everything in every industry, but then it's like, are you really championing that? Because it's like, what does your non-solicits look like? What do these other things look like? Because it's like, I just don't think, especially in freight, man, like I said, nobody's doing anything differently. Fun, like your ability to communicate at a higher level, yeah, that's different than your competition, but that's not proprietary, right? Like,
Right.
I just look at it as, people are scared. They know they're not good, and that's why they have so much red tape in there,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know we got off on that tangent pretty quickly. Can't say too much on it.
Yeah.
We're
No.
actually in the midst of something, but
no, it's all good, man. We won't talk about
Yeah.
this anymore, man. Let's get back to business development strategies, because I think, right now, in any freight market, but especially right now, man, you have to really bring it to be noticed. Like, you have to truly say something different, or you have to follow up in a really accommodating way, I'll call it, not in an annoying way. You have to follow up at a pace to where you're not going to work yourself out of opportunities. So it's like, how are you out there developing business right now?
I am almost solely working off of referrals.
Damn, dude. Good for you.
As I mentioned, I'm managing those 4 ship points. I speak to my customers daily. Ask them about what's going on in the areas. Do they know anyone looking for something? And just go off that. Talk to folks leaving the industry. They say every day there's record numbers of companies closing. I've been fortunate enough to be on LinkedIn since I've been in this industry. Made a lot of great connections, and I just ask, hey, what happened? What's going on? Are you okay? Know anybody I should reach out to try to help out right now?
Hey guys, before we go any further in this episode, I wanted to let you know it is brought to you by TIE Software, the battle station for freight brokers. Your TMS should be viewed as a tool to help you execute at a high level in any freight market. With TIE, brokers gain access to a comprehensive platform that has rate intelligence and quoting history converged down to a single screen. TIE also equips your team with all the data they need to confidently negotiate pricing, while also allowing them to communicate directly with both carriers and customers from a single command center. With most of your tasks automated through multiple integrations, your team can focus on making strategic decisions and not manual ones. Are you looking to revolutionize your brokerage by giving them a competitive advantage through automation? Visit www.tiesoftware.com/battlestation to learn more. Just do me a favor and let them know that the Freight Coach sent you. Dude, I like that a lot, man. I think that's a great strategy. I'm from my perspective, I think that you need to get really, really crafty right now in your approach. Cause like, dude, I don't know about you and your business, Dustin, but like, I get emails from brokers thinking that I'm a shipper. And they're asking me to be set up. They want to haul my freight, everything else, or they're asking to like knowingly double broker my freight out there. But it's like,
Right.
I'm seeing that level, and I'm like, man, you didn't even do 3 seconds of research to see this is a freight brokerage, not a shipper. And I'm like, no wonder shippers hate us. Like, they get that shit
Yep.
all day long.
I agree. If anyone actually does the research, they would see that we are a freight broker and an NVOCC. We still get calls, shout out TQL. But our corporate address is actually one of our customers' warehouses. That's where we started. In January of last year, we were working out of a shipping warehouse. And so if anyone ever pulls up that address, it's, it's our customer's warehouse. So they might actually think that we are a shipper just based on that.
Dude, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
So have you noticed inside of that? So, being an NVOCC and everything like that, is there a lot more opportunities out there than most people think with that?
I would say thanks to COVID, no.
Okay.
We're very fortunate to have the customers we have in the ocean atmosphere, and we're able to uncover some similar things, help save money, pretty much mirroring what we did to start VI. But people are leery. People are very leery, and it's honestly weird. We very much approached a lot of things with open honesty and a lot of transparency. Some of our customers know how much we pay vendors, how much money we make per load, etc. And to go into a sales call, with someone you haven't worked with before, and you're providing that because you feel like it's a value add, then you see the look on their face, and they realize how much they've been getting just shammed.
Yeah.
It's been mixed reviews, honestly. Some people have not cared for that.
So what's one of those ways, man? Because it's like, I think that, and especially with the FMC ruling that's going on out there about detention and demurrage and everything like that, how are you guys working with your customers right there to kind of bring awareness to a lot of that? Because I feel like that's going to uncover a lot of BS, I think, at the end of the day. I think I'm not the biggest fan of the government getting involved in everything, but like in this instance, I think this is going to uncover a lot of wrongful billing and everything else that's been going on out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and I think it's across the board. There are plenty of companies out there that will artificially create or find a way to fabricate extra charges. It's just like the Drayage debacle that Danny had uncovered. Is they were taking it to a drop yard, saying there wasn't space, saying there wasn't chassis ready, but then when it started accruing demurrage, they went and got it delivered and then collected the demurrage.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think across the board, I'm with you. I don't think the government should get involved really in anything. It's got enough of its own problems. But
fact.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Once they get in there and make some clear rulings and things come to light, there may be even more shakeups. But just like this year, ocean ship lines rates are back high again. No one really knows what's going on. So here we are in the same sort of world.
Dude, I think that, again, at the end of the day, I think that because like what I try and do no matter what, Dustin, is I just try and operate the exact same way no matter how the market is performing, up market, down market, and I even go as, hypothetically, if I'm making $5, losing 5,000 or making 5,000, my customer receives the exact same level of service and communication on every single move out there. And I think that, from my perspective, it's like, I think more people need to stop paying attention to what other companies are doing and make sure that their shit's in order as well.
Yeah.
And if you can do that, I think, like, again, always the cream will rise to the top no matter what, under what circumstances are out there. The real players in the industry are going to figure it out, and they're going to perform at a high level. And they're going to be the reason why when I prospect somebody, they're going to be like, we're good right now. Like, those are the relationships that I'm trying that I'm working to establish out there.
Yeah. No, I agree. I've been saying a lot recently. If you're not growing, you're dying. If you're not finding ways to stay alive in the industry for your customers, something new, shinier, prettier may just come along and take you out.
Yeah.
And you constantly have to evolve. And that's one of the things I like about this industry.
I look at it like this, where it's like, I think more people lose business than have somebody take it from them, right? Like, I don't think, because I think people are like resistant to change at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely.
And that new shiny object that you're talking about, sometimes it shows itself in the face of, hey, this person actually communicates at the levels of the way that you said you were going to. And it's just those little things like that where people start to notice, like, hey, you guys are just a little bit better than everybody else. You guys are doing things a little bit differently than everybody else. And what I've found, and again, this is just direct feedback I get from my customers, is inside of my organization, we communicate at levels that nobody has ever experienced before. Because like, I pride myself on sending multiple updates on every single load, taking over the communication aspect of things, making sure the receivers are updated, double checking, triple checking all that information, and then essentially taking over their transportation for my customers, where essentially they're just telling me, hey, this is ready. And then boom, I take it from there and I organize everything. I don't post, like, yes, we do post loads, but like at the end of the day, we reach out to all of our internal carriers faster than most. Like we were picking up a load today, man. Like we just literally one phone call. The driver's like, yeah, I'm empty. I'll be there in an hour, and it's a repeat carrier. Yeah. We paid him above market, but that dude shows up every single time that we need him. So I'm like, I will gladly overpay for that stuff.
Yep. No, it's some of the feedback we got yesterday from one of our customers. We are about 8% over their market rates, but they had stellar notes for us on customer service. And it's because of those relationships we have and how we go about conducting our business and over communicating. We reach out to our carriers. Obviously, everyone has to post one occasionally. If we can't get it done with our carriers, we'll call backups, 4, 5, 6 down the list. If we get to that point, we'll post out, we find a good option, we let our customer know, and they love us for it.
I think that, we need to, and again, I want to get your, how do you build a relationship, man? Because I think it's like, that term is thrown out there so much. And how do you actually build a relationship though? What's one thing that you like to see from the very beginning?
For me, when I came in the industry, I obviously I didn't have driver relationships, and I was selling that, oh, hey, we have all this capacity. I loved when drivers were updating me before I was asking questions.
Yeah.
And I would start doing that for my customers, and then they loved it. And so anytime I'm working with a carrier, if they're over communicating, doing everything I am, I already know I'm calling them back. I'm getting them first. And that's kind of what we've done to help develop the network that we have now. Is a lot of the carriers that we use daily.
Yeah.
And we managed to do that in the span of 2 years.
So what are some, from my perspective, I think like truly understanding a customer's operation, I think is almost overlooked. And I think like, how often do you sit down? And it sounds like you guys are probably already doing this with it, but like, how often do you guys sit down with your customers and talk to them about their actual process and lead times and everything else?
A few of them monthly. The one that helped us get everything started almost daily. There are daily discussions on how we can better streamline, because that's how it started. As we are, rounding our 2 years, we are striving to get out there and see our customers further away and do the same thing. So I hope to do it more often, but right now, quarterly, I'd say.
Quarterly?
Yeah.
Okay. How much do you believe in like site visits and stuff like that, man? Going on site to your customers and really doing that as like a business development strategy or like a relationship building strategy?
Very much so. One, I think it just helps cut through what the industry is right now. They get 100 phone calls a day. How many times does a guy named Hot Tub show up at your front door?
Yeah.
Like one time. You can get 1,000 phone calls a week, but one guy named Hot Tub is showing up at your door. And I think that is at this point immeasurable to the success and failure of brokerages and salespeople in general.
Dude, I would just literally just introduce myself as Hot Tub when I call people. I got to ask Dustin, where does the nickname Hot Tub come from? It is probably the best nickname I've ever heard. See out there.
Well, I tell you, like I tell most folks, because I always look for more opportunities. Is I'll never tell you on the first go. I'll tell you on the second meeting.
Okay. Okay. So
So the next time we sit down and chat, I'll definitely tell you the story. Um, and it's really helped me cut through uh the chatter in the industry. Calling, introducing myself as Hot Tub, trying to find ways to get myself in front of people. I made a post about it the other day. It's hard to convey your personality over the phone sometimes.
yeah.
But leaving voicemails, introducing yourself as Hot Tub really catches people off guard. I have gotten away from it some. I very much used it as a tool for personal gain. Now that I am in the position I am in, I'm always looking for ways that my team can win over how much I can win.
Yeah.
I felt it's a bit of good personal development.
Dude, I think that, you know, from my perspective, I think that as automation and everything is continued to push out there, I really think that at least in freight is, man, separating yourself and doing what others aren't willing to do, I think is truly overlooked. I think like because I look at like investments, right? If I'm going to go see a customer, I like going to my customers' facilities. I like going out there, I like prospecting. I like doing site visits. I like standing out because you're right, man. Like I'm like, how do I properly convey my passion for this industry via email or via phone call? And I don't think it
Yep.
gets across, man. I think me showing up and then sitting in a room with them, that's what really helps me separate myself more than anything. And I want that, and that's what I want to do. Cause like depending on the size of the shipper, that's like my honest strategy right away, man. Is I'm like, hey, I'll fly out there and see you. Can I stop by and introduce myself? Can we set up, meet for 15 minutes? I'll fly across the country for depending on the size of the customer, right? And the size of the
Yep.
prospect. And I think like that's how they can feel how much their business means to me as well.
No, I mean, I couldn't agree more. It's a lot of the conversations we are having right now, as we are growing, as we are shaping ourselves for the future. That exact sentiment is, if it makes sense for us, if it makes sense for our footprint, if it makes sense for our carriers, we feel like we could be a good value add. We've talked to gatekeepers, we've asked them questions, we've talked to ops people, we've asked them questions. We feel like it's worth it. We are getting on the phone with them. We're trying to schedule that meeting. We're flying out to meet them as soon as possible.
What what happened that that because that's just not a common strategy out there, man. What was it that from your perspective on why you do it that way?
I again, I'm very thankful for the customers I have. It's really been talking to them, trying to continuously evolve, and just seeing what the industry is right now. They're everyone's under the thumb. Everyone's losing revenue. They want to make sure they're getting as much exposure, much customers they have. People are having to call, 100 times a day, and I think that's really it. That's what separates me is I got up at 2 a.m., drove down to Jacksonville, have met four different one customer, three different prospects, and I'm coming home tomorrow. Like that, people aren't doing that.
Yeah. No, dude, I'm right there with you, right? A lot of our thing is our business development is hey, can I just stop by and see you? I like to own my local market.
Yep.
And I'm on a mission to introduce myself to literally everybody inside of the Phoenix market where I live, right? Because I feel like that's just such an overlooked opportunity out there. And again, I get it. Some people are like, no, I'd rather sit behind the desk all day. But it's like, man, I want people to know that I'm a real human. Like there's enough fake profile pictures and other bullshit that's going on out there. How do I show that I am an actual human being? And I think like that's just a strategy that we're gonna run with here for the very, very, very long term. Because I think as people look to automate and remove the personal human element more, I'm going to double down on it, man. I'm going to triple down on it. I'm going to go back to the old school.
Yep. No, I mean, I agree. It's kind of funny. I learned a lot in my first few months of being in the brokerage. They're just like, find ways to do this, mark stuff down. I still do it. I'll drive down the interstate. I'll see something on a flatbed. and I'm grabbing my phone, I'm typing a name into my notes app, and then I'm looking them up when I get to the hotel or something,
Yep.
or when I get home. And I'm just like, okay, cool. It's obviously on a flatbed. It wasn't tart. I got the name. It was crated parts. Let me call them and see what's going on.
Yeah. Hell yeah,
Like,
man.
I think the more you're right, the more automation and AI and everything like that evolves and takes that human element out of it, the more we will do the same and just be as human as possible, getting in there and kind of spitting in the face of automation and AI.
Dude, I'm right there with you, man. That's what I'm looking to do with it. I'm looking to show like, yeah, because I think that at some point, man, people are going to like I just feel like the direction shit's going, Dustin. You're just gonna automate. We're just gonna automate ourselves out of jobs, and then we're gonna be automating ourselves out of existence. You know,
Yeah,
and then that just creates a one class system that goes on in the world where it's like, oh, great, so we're in it, so where 1% of the people control everything, and then we're just given crumbs. You know, I think that
yep.
that's where automation and everything goes in the long run. But that's a conversation for another day, Dustin. I don't think we need to go
I
up on
got you.
that tangent right now. But man, what's, as we're kind of wrapping up here today, man, what's one piece of advice you would give out there to the market for that individual who's struggling in sales or business development, or, maybe they own a brokerage and they feel like they bit off more than they can chew?
Um, oh, that's a tough one for me. Um, because I'm such a double down, in it until I'm absolutely lost type of person.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, take just a hard look. Take a day off. Take a hard look at yourself. Ask yourself, are you willing to go as far as you need to make this work? And then, if you are, get out there and do it. If you're not, choose a better life. Do something else. There's a lot of good industries out there. I know if I wasn't doing logistics, I'd probably still be in the restaurants. Love working with food. Love seeing people happy, and yeah, I mean, just really decide if this is going to be it for you, because when and if the market turns around, if automation keeps pushing people out, it's going to be a rocky road.
Yeah. No, man, you're right, man. I think that, business entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. It's been overly glorified out there. It's phenomenal. I love it, but man, it comes with a lot. And I think that what you said there about, like, man, if you're not happy doing what you're doing, you got to go find your happiness, right? Like, it doesn't matter. And I think that's the greatest, that's probably one of the greatest yet most simple things that anybody said on this show, man, is to, dude, if you're not happy, you got to go find your happiness. Because
Absolutely.
I feel like a lot of people go through the motions because it's like, man, I've been in freight for 10 years. And it's like, and this is all I want, or this is all I think that I'm ever going to do. It's like, get out there and go try something else, man. Freight will always be there,
Yep.
like there will always be something out there, but you never know, man. Your passion might be somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I know a few people. Again, we had that joke that in Chattanooga, logistics is where restaurant people go to die, and here
Yeah.
I still am dying on this hill. Um, but I know a few people who've gotten out there. They've started doing something else, because a lot of people in this industry, they're picked up right out of college. They didn't get a degree in logistics. They got a degree in something else.
Yeah.
You know, if you're at that point now and you don't feel like this is the future for you right now, go do what your degree was for. Go
Yep.
do something else. Take a sabbatical.
Dude, I'm right there with you, man. Dustin, I appreciate your time. I know you're out on the road and you got stuff going on here tonight, man. But thank you so much for sitting down and talking about your story in the industry, man. And how does anybody reach out to you, though? If you guys are hiring, or if they just want to reach out and connect with you and network, man, how do they reach out and find out more?
Um, well, it's pretty easy. Our official phone number right now is just my cell phone. Um, but it's out there on our website, 423-480-0085. LinkedIn is always appreciated. Love always connecting with other industry folks. Love having conversations like this. Can always take time to chat with someone over the phone, on a Teams call. Have met a lot of really wonderful people and learned a lot from them and through these conversations.
I love it, man. And Dustin, you got a long drive coming back from Jacksonville, so maybe somebody should pop in tomorrow.
Yeah. If someone calls, give me a shout. I'll be driving.
Oh, man, I love it. Dustin, thank you so much. And if you guys made it this far in the episode, which I'm sure you did, I know you did, and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the show, you guys. Share it out there in your network, because if you see value, your network's going to see value as well. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Right that the earth is mine. Burn bright, let the ember shine. You know I'm gonna get it every time. Champion, wearing the crown. I can see my name in lights. Spark from the heart and it shines so bright. Yeah, let the whole world know. Let's go, let's go, let's go.